You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton. Hey, guys, welcome to Monday. Welcome to a nice start of the week. Well, at least it is for us that are listening to this real time. If you guys are checking out the podcast for the first time, hey, just want to say thanks for joining in and jumping on the podcast. The podcast is blowing up, and you know what? It's been great just hearing all the feedback from you guys on YouTube and Instagram and emails that come on in and say that you guys enjoy listening to the show. Each and every day as you guys are out there, cutting down trees, mowing grass, doing landscaping, honestly, sometimes even just at the gym or, running errands. And it's cool to just drive down the road and have good stuff going into your head. I call it mind food, right? So as long as you have good mind food going in and you get some positivity and, we just got some good vibes going on, man. That just encourages me. It encourages you. And frankly, it just girds us up to challenge the day, man, because the day is challenging with or without anything going in, man. So if you can put some good stuff in your brain to give you fuel and fire and ammo to keep charging forward, man, that's what it's all about. So on today's podcast, I want to talk about what does it take to actually start a lawn care business, or more specifically, how to actually get your lawn care business going. Now, a lot of you guys that are listening to this, you have a lawn and landscape business, but there's also a whole nother camp, guys, that email all day long, DM all day long, purchase Lawntrepreneur Academy training programs all day long that are trying to get this business started, this lawn care business. Now, whether you guys are making a career change, whether you have a background as a professional, or you're just getting out of college and you want to start a lawn care business. Maybe you're, 15, 18, 19, 20 years old and you don't want to go to college. You don't want to go into a traditional 9-to-5. You want to start a lawn and landscape business. I mean, there's so many of you guys and everywhere in between, right? Firefighters, school teachers that do this nights and weekends. I talk to so many of you guys, and it's so cool running a lawn and landscape business on the side. Now, whether you're just getting 4 or 5 lawns to, put an extra $100, $200 a week in your pocket, that's cool. If you're trying to get 20 or 30 extra accounts, this is your money for your 4-wheeler, your camper, your kids' braces, I don't know. That's cool too. And if you want to continue going and growing from there, I'm all about that life. I think a lawn and landscape business can provide a, nice little lifestyle. So here's what we're going to do. We're talking about 4 different categories that I wanted to highlight and cover. Usually, here's the premise of this whole podcast episode I wanted to do is usually I get a lot of coaching calls that we do like 3 to 5 coaching calls a week in between all the noise that's going on with YouTube and Instagram and running my own business 50 hours a week. I do about 4 or 5 coaching calls a week, and I thoroughly enjoy doing those. Those are always available for purchase at launchpreneuracademy.com. It's $99. We've helped so many people navigate equipment purchases, how to grow their business, how to start, marketing their company, and just, making it personal. And it's been just super well received. But a big theme I get out of these coaching calls, especially for people who are just starting up, is how do I start? What's the next thing that I do? We have a $99 training program, how to get your lawn care business started, right? Well, that teaches you all the basics, but then what do you do? What do you do? How do I actually get this thing moving? Like, how do I get my business in front of customers? How do I start an LLC? So I'm going to break down these 4 categories. We're going to talk about equipment. We're going to talk about routes. We're going to talk about marketing. And then we're also going to talk about legal and your CRM to manage the business. So before we do, we're going to jump into it. We're going to hear from our show sponsors, which is myself, the Launchtrepreneur Academy, one of my businesses, where there's so many great resources there, including a new one for you guys to learn how to get new customers, which is super exciting.
New program alert. The How to Get New Lawn Care Customers training program is now available. If you guys have ever struggled at acquiring new customers or are looking to grow your lawn care business, then this new program might just be for you. Looking to learn the best tactics to develop a successful postcard marketing campaign? We got you covered. Have you ever wondered how to use social media to exponentially grow your business and dominate the competition? We got that too. Whether you're just getting started in business or you're a seasoned vet, there's something for everyone in this new program available now, exclusively at launchpreneuracademy.com.
Awesome. Love it. Well, I'll tell you guys what, I was just talking to a couple of different guys on coaching calls this week, and they were wondering how to get customers. And I said, hey, this is a great 1-2 punch. We're analyzing their business. They wanted to get some new customers. I said, hey, not to give you a pitch, but man, we can talk for another hour and a half. I said, just on this topic alone, or I can refer you to a training program that has 6 different modules inside that course. And each one is for 20 minutes, breaks down door-to-door sales, social media marketing, Facebook marketing, my Google business listing marketing, flyers, postcards, so much good stuff in there, like how to use Instagram, how to use YouTube. And each one is like a 20 to 30 minute module. In fact, even door-to-door sales, so 27 minutes. When's the last time you talked about door-to-door sales? But I'll tell you what, we still drum up a ton of business. In fact, I always say back in the day when I got my business started, back in my day, we sold 18 grand worth of business in my first 6 weeks of starting my lawn and landscape business. I was 19 or 20 years old. I don't even know if my eyes were straight. Like I was such a babe. I was such a rook. I was such a newbie. But I'm telling you what, even going door to door, maybe not so much in 2020 with COVID going on right now, but don't you could still drum up so much business with all these different ways. And the economy, I don't care with what anybody says, man, things are good, things are growing for those who want it to grow. So go on over, check out launchpreneuracademy.com. I think you guys are really going to, be in for a treat with that training program. It's $49. Okay. Like it is some of the best content that I've put out. And I think it really can help you guys grow your business. One other brand that we're going to hear from really quick, a new show sponsor. And you guys know these guys, there's some big dogs out there. We're going to listen to a new ad that we have going on from Steel and Steel handheld power equipment.
Battery power made by Steel. From trimmers and mowers to chainsaws and blowers, Steel battery tools are exactly what you need to tackle your to-do list. Whether you need to maintain your yard or completely transform your landscape. Battery power made by Steel. Steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot, always at a local Steel dealer. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Awesome. Always great having show sponsors to keep this thing moving, guys. It costs a lot of money on the back end to knock out these episodes. So again, really appreciative for Steel jumping on board. You guys are going to hear a lot more from them over the next couple months. Steel Incorporated, sponsoring the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Who would have thought, right? So just having fun. But actually we've got that MSA 220, I think it is, a battery powered chainsaw. That is my go-to chainsaw. I love the battery products from those guys. And I'm not even going to reveal some stuff that's coming out this fall. But I'll just tell you what, stay tuned for if you're a pro, there's going to be some stuff that's going to change the game. But if I say any more, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get an email from somebody, right? So, all right, let's break it down. Let's start talking about equipment, routes, marketing, and legal and CRM. So when you're just getting your business started and the premise is, hey, I've got $5,000. What do I do next, right? And the first thing I'm going to say is this is assuming that you have a vehicle. This is assuming that you have a truck or a Jeep or a Durango or a Chevy S10 or a Ford Ranger or an F-250, an F-150, whatever. Pick your truck. The assumption here is that you have a vehicle that can transport your equipment. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean pull a trailer, although I'm going to talk about that. It just means that you can start moving equipment from house to house. I guess even if you have a car, Lord knows that's how I started. I had a Hyundai Elantra 2002 GLS. I mean, it was GLS. That means like glorified luxury sedan. I just made that up, but man, I had a white and rust two-tone. It had the 265 air conditioning. That's where you have the windows down, 2 windows down, and you're going 65 miles an hour. It was a piece of junk, okay? But that was the 265 AC. That's a throwback for some of my old school people. But it was... it was my chariot, man. That's where I got my business started. In fact, I remember listening to Paul's podcast about how he got started in business, and he had borrowed like a trimmer and a mower from a buddy or something like that, and he was stockpiling it in the back of his car or whatever, and he had like the green, stains all over the seats because he had to put it in diagonal. Yep, I've been there. I had to put my trimmer through the little back seat. It had like a little door and it went all the way through, and it wouldn't even fit if I had the guard on. So I took the guard off, no guard. I was no guard for 12 years ago, right guys? So I remember all those good old days. But here's the number one thing. You get your business started, you're ready to rock and roll. And let's just say that you're, Brian's Lawn Care, okay? Brian's Lawn Maintenance. You're Brian's Lawn Maintenance, just getting your business started, and you have these ideas, right? Well, you want to start growing a lawn and landscape business and bringing in revenue. The first thing you're going to have to decide is, are you doing maintenance or are you doing landscaping? No right or wrong answer. You have to start kind of figuring out what you want your business model to look like. Well, that's if you want to do lawn care, we're going to be talking about lawn mowers, trimmers, and blowers. And if you want to do landscaping, you better start doing your research on shovels, wheelbarrows, skid steers and tractors and all kinds of stuff in the future. So there's no right or wrong answer. But then we also have to decide what does your business servicing days look like? Do you want to cut grass 5 days a week? Do you want to cut grass 4 days a week? Do you want to cut grass Monday through Thursday and Friday's a landscape day, a weed pulling day, office day? Do you want to mow grass Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and landscape Thursday, Friday, and your makeup is Saturday or even Sunday? Do you want to landscape Monday through Wednesday and then you landscape Thursday, Friday? Do you want to landscape Monday through Wednesday and then you mow grass Thursday, Friday, like my friend Bedell? No right or wrong answer. You just got to decide what works for you. Now, when you're talking about getting your business started, what's the difference between lawn care and landscaping? Well, you can make a lot more money per job doing landscaping. Nobody's going to argue or contest that. For me, here's what I'm just saying. For me, I liked ongoing cash flow. I liked earning consistent revenue. I have consistent bills. I want to make consistent investing strategy. So I wanted consistent income, right? And so I wanted to do lawn maintenance. And so I had a 5-day-a-week route, Monday through Friday. Eventually I trimmed that back to 4 days. About 3 years ago, I was just getting sick and tired of, if it rained Monday at 2 p.m., it would literally already cascade the whole route back to me working on Saturday because my Tuesdays would get bumped to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, right? And so what happened is I just got sick and tired of working all these Saturdays and Sundays. And my Friday people, I think like one year we might have cut like 5 Friday lawns on Friday, like 5 different weeks out of 26 weeks on Friday. And every weekend we were working Saturday, man, every weekend. And it was also on a whole nother side of town. Some of you guys have heard this story when I did a video talking about buying and selling routes. And so anyway, I decided I wanted to do Monday through Thursday mowing grass. I decided I didn't want to do landscaping. Now I do mulch, I do flowers, spring and fall cleanup, snow removal, aerations, overseeding. I kind of consider that like softscaping. Okay. I'm not, we're not doing tear outs. We're not doing plantings. I'm not doing retaining walls. I've got subcontractors. I've got friends I just give that work to. I'm not interested, right? But no right or wrong answer. Some guys, they want to do landscaping. That's fine. The biggest thing with landscaping is just make sure you're going to be booked out and make sure you start finding your target customer for your type of landscaping work. So like Keith Kalfas, he calls them jackpot jobs. And every jackpot job is a $1,500 to $4,000 job. But he can bang those out in a day or two. Boom, boom, boom. And that's his ideal, tear out, planting, mulch. He can do that in, 2 days. So just start to figure out your ideal customer, your ideal business, and what you're trying to do. No right or wrong answer. Now, as we continue to go through this process and you're starting your business, we got to break it down into 4 things. Number 1 is equipment. You're going to spend a lot of time, researching mowers, trimmers, blowers, and edgers, and even trailers. Now, for most guys, I've talked about this. If you want to get your business started, you're like, I just started Brian's Lawn Maintenance, okay? I just started Bob's Lawn Services or whatever. You have to start figuring out what equipment you're going to need for your area. Okay, you can start with 21-inch push mowers, but the simple, situation with that and the simple bottleneck is you're not going to be very efficient, right? So even if you got $5,000, you might put $1,500 to $2,000 into a trailer, $1,000 into hand tools, $1,000 in the marketing, and maybe $1,000 down, or even just keep $1,000 for supplies. That's kind of how I would do the breakdown, and I would just finance a $5,000 mower. Now, it might be a $6,000 mower. It depends how all in you're going to be and depends on the services that we're going to do. Now, if you're only going to mow 2 days a week and you're going to do landscaping 3-4 days a week, but you're doing commercial work and you got to manage those lawns for those commercial clients, but you're really in it for the landscaping, well, then you don't need to go spend, 10, 12 grand on a mower. Go get a $4,500, trade-in mower with 1,000 or 1,500 hours. And that's all you need because you're only going to put 100 to 200 hours on your mower and equipment per year. So again, we really got to decide what are we going to do with this mowing business or what are we going to do with this landscaping business? What are we trying to do to bring in money? So as we start to go down the whole process of talking about equipment, we want to get either a push mower, a zero-turn mower or a stand-on mower. Now, we've talked about this in other videos. I just did one a couple weeks back. At the time of this recording, it would be in June 2020, so check on YouTube, but it was stand-on versus sit-down. And I said, if you're doing a bunch of mowing and you're in a small town or urban environment or a lot of gates, get that 36-inch stander because you can mow front yards and backyards with a 36. Your second mower, it might be a 52 or 60-inch zero-turn or stand-on. It's totally up to you. Now, you might also want to, if you have wide open lawns or more rural, or you're trying to get HOAs or big commercial properties, or you just don't have a lot of gated backyards, look, you might want to already start with a 60-inch mower, whether it's a stand-on or sit-down. That's up to you. But the bottom line is that if you're just starting out your business and you have $5,000, here's what I'm going to say: put $1,500 to into a trailer, $1,000 into marketing, $1,000 into legal, and that's your $4 or so grand, and then put $1,000 into hand tools, and you should be good to go. You don't necessarily have to put any money down to finance your first lawnmower. That's if you have any kind of credit that's worth writing home about. I was 19, 20. All I had was a push mower and a Hyundai, and or I should say, my only bills was a Hyundai, and my credit was, I don't know, maybe $600 or $700. It wasn't stellar. I was 19. How much credit can you have? And they still gave me a $5,000 loan and a $5,000 line of credit. All right, so let's continue on. The trimmers, the blowers, the edgers. We're not going to talk about that right now. There's so many videos on there. It doesn't really matter about brand necessarily. Let's talk about utility. Let's just say, get a trimmer that is plenty powerful, but not overkill. You want a 25cc trimmer. You don't need a 31 or 32cc trimmer necessarily. It's going to be overkill. The models that come to mind are from Steel. You might look at a Cam 111. I think that's the brand or the model. Steel FS111 and FS94, Echo 2620, Red Max 260 TS. Frankly, if you want to go to Home Depot and rip off of the shelf an SRM 225, that's totally fine. It's $200 trimmer. It's a light commercial entry, pro homeowner, whatever you want to, like that middle ground. And that thing's going to last you a year or two. When we talk about blowers, Red Max 5150, Red Max 7500, Steel BR 600 or 700, and Echo 770, or maybe just want to throw down for the 8010. This is assuming you have $1,000, okay? That's going to be budgeted for equipment. Well, there you go. There's your equipment setup. You've got a nice trailer. Don't go to Tractor Supply. You're going to outgrow it instantly. You can. That was my first trailer for $700 or $800. But after that, after your first or second year, you're already going to outgrow it. So if you had $5,000, this is the premise of this whole conversation, go to a nice trailer dealer in town. Everybody has one within an hour away, especially by the highways, and go invest in a 7x16 utility trailer. I feel like, and I don't care if you have a $100,000 a year business, a $10,000 a year business, or a $2 million a year business, everybody can rock and roll with a 7x16 utility trailer. It's almost like a 48-inch walk behind, that you can use on hills. A 48-inch, hydro walk behind will be forever usable in any fleet. Doesn't matter if you do millions of dollars, you'll always be able to use that equipment, just like that 7x16 trailer. So again, the difference between getting something at a Tractor Supply versus a trailer deal, an actual trailer dealer, you're gonna have 2-inch tube top versus angle iron. You're gonna have better welds, better axles, better lighting, better connectors, and it's just gonna outlast than a $500 or $700 trailer at Tractor Supply, which is designed for the homeowner to take his ATV up north, okay, or cross country, or haul his family's little John Deere tractor to grandma's house to cut the grass on the weekend, right? So that's the equipment. Number two, we want to, and I'm just going to blaze through this. Number two is you got to figure out your route. So you just started Brian's Lawn Maintenance. You just started your lawn care business. We figured out the equipment because we figured out our business model, right? And it's going to change. It's going to evolve, but that'll get you out of the gate. Number two is your route. Your route doesn't really cost you any money. I'm going to put an asterisk there and say it's going to cost you $4. And you're like, what is $4? Well, $4 is what you need to do is you need to go to your local gas station and buy a physical map of where you live. Now, if you're, 19 and you know how to use the internet, you can go use Google Earth, okay? But take the same thing, Google Earth or Google Maps or whatever, or MapQuest, if MapQuest is still around, and you need to zoom out just a little bit on that computer, or take your physical map and take a Sharpie and literally circle out your service area and your service route. I was talking to a gentleman the other day. He's from Fort Collins, loves the show, loves the YouTube channel. We were doing a coaching call, and I said, well, is there a Fort Collins North? Is there a Fort Collins South? As I zoomed out a little bit, there was 2 or 3 other cities like South and Southeast, and they're about a 15 or 20 minute drive. And I said, here's what we got to figure out. Where do you live in Fort Collins? He said, I'm on the south side. Oh, I said, cool. And there's a thoroughfare that cut through the middle, and we're doing this coaching call. We're trying to figure out his business and his service area. And I said, you got to decide, do you want to be a south side business, a north side business, an all of Fort Collins business? Do you want to do Fort Collins on Monday, Tuesday, this other town on Wednesday, this other town on Thursday, so on and so forth. And here's the whole concept about route density. It's not like this thing that I made up 10 years ago, but it's something that I've been pretty like known about, is because so many of you guys shoot me messages saying, I'm so glad that I, put hard boundaries, because here's what happens. You pick up a new customer and they're a 55-year-old couple, and they say, hey, my son and daughter-in-law just bought their first home, or my cousin, or my nephew, or my sister. Why don't you go cut their lawn? I'm sure they'd be interested. And factually, that customer referral is interested. They do want service. The problem is they're 20 minutes east of you. Well, okay, if you don't know better, as a new guy, you're going to go, man, I just need all the work I can get. Boom, big mistake. Just let's slow down really quick. You don't want everybody in the beginning. And I know it sounds kind of like an oxymoron, or like I'm being counter to what I'm saying here, but the reality is that you don't want every customer. You want a targeted business. This is something that I wish I knew from day one, that I had to prune and do surgery on my business a couple different times. So as you guys can imagine, you get a customer, you get the new customer 20 minutes east of them. They have a coworker. That coworker has, needs. They want to do lawn maintenance, and they're 15 minutes northeast. And before you know it, when you leave home that morning, you have a customer 42 minutes away northeast. But what happens if that middle customer doesn't need their lawn cut this week? What if they have a party or something's going on? Well, you can't drive 42 minutes northeast to that one customer between traffic and all this other mess. You're not going to make any money on that customer. So we have to define our routes. Now, that route could be a 1 mile radius. It can be a 20 mile radius. It can be a 5-minute drive around town. It can be a 35-minute circle around town. If anything larger than that, because you're maybe more rural, no problem. Like I said, have one city on Mondays, one city on Tuesdays, one city on Wednesdays, and just make those towns isolated per days. And don't let the customer tell you what day that they want the lawn cut. No. They say, well, cool. Well, we're excited about signing up. I can't wait to see you Friday. Because everybody wants Friday. And as a new guy, if you don't know better, you're going to go, Friday works great. Even though you got you're top heavy on Friday because you already got 18 lawns or something like that, right? So no. You're going to tell the customer, hey, no problem. We'll see you on Mondays. Well, I don't want a Monday cut. Hey, you know what? We're going to guarantee you a beautiful Monday cut. That way your lawn looks great all week. Oh, okay, great. Hey, we want, you're going to be a Friday cut. Your lawn's going to look great all weekend. Oh, awesome. Like there's no, that took me a decade to figure that little sales tip out. Okay. Don't let the tail wag the dog. Don't let the customer pick the day. You pick the day based on your route. We can talk about this for forever. I did a really good video. Yardbook kind of like sponsored that video. We were talking about some different things in there, and Yardbook's our CRM. We'll get into that in a second. But that right there is, you have to establish your route. You have to establish your, where you're going to do work. I want to just make sure that I spend a few minutes on this because it's super important. It's super critical. As your business grows, you cannot be driving all around town, because if you're doing maintenance, especially, you're going to make that money up in productivity. For me right now, I'm in 6 subdivisions, literally 6 subdivisions. Our Monday we do a little bit of commercial, so we're skipping around town. And the only reason I skip around town is because I had to, because we have a bunch of retail stores and strip malls, and we do snow plowing. So I'm okay with that because we make really good money doing the lawn, but we make great money doing the snow, right? And my friend Mike Bedell, if he's listening to the show, he's shaking his head because we clean up on snow and salt, don't we, Mike? So anyway, and if all you guys that do snow and snow plowing and ice services, you know what I'm talking about. So that's why I travel a little bit on my Monday. But Tuesday, I'm in 2 subdivisions. Wednesday, I'm in 1 subdivision. Thursday, I'm in 2 more subdivisions. That's it. That's it, period. So we're like in literally 6 subdivisions, but you know what? It took a decade to get there. So you might start off with your city. You might start off with then pruning it to the north side or the south side or the east side. And then, you know what I mean? We're just going to clean this up over time. And don't be afraid of canceling customers. In fact, there's a gentleman, Aaron, that messaged me this morning on Instagram. He shot a 4-part video. And he was just saying, hey, I had 3 customers that I knew I was cutting the lawns for, and the price wasn't right. So I actually called all 3. He goes, if I didn't have your videos and podcasts to like get this courage, which is really cool. I mean, it's so minute, but it's so awesome that the impact that I get to make and have with you guys, and also the impact that you guys have had on me. He goes, I was able to guster up some courage, had some gusto. I called 3 of them. One of them actually canceled. He goes, but basically by raising the price price in the first two. It's almost like I didn't even need the third one. He goes, I'm making more money. I'm going to be happier, and I'm actually getting paid what I'm worth. And I'm like, that's awesome, dude. That is so freaking cool. So that's number one. We talked about equipment. The second one is we talked about routes. Now, the other two that I'm going to get into is the equalizer. And the equalizer is your marketing. And then we'll also talk about how to manage all this together from day one, which is your CRM. So without further ado, one thing I wanted to talk about was we had some really good reviews come in this week. So I wanted to take a quick second. We'll highlight those, and then we'll get right back into it.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Awesome. Well, we had a great review come in from Sawyer's Landscaping. He gave us a 5-star review. He said, Brian has helped me learn a lot over the last couple of years. I thoroughly enjoy the content. Thank you for what you are doing. Well, Sawyer, thank you for leaving your comment and rating. We really appreciate that. And right back at you, brother. We also had another one from Trisha Dork, 10X. Must be a Grant Cardone fan. She said, knowledge dropping, inspiration popping, greatness right here. Well, I really appreciate that. And then we also had Jay Tisley. This man has taught me so much about how to run my lawn business from some of the best tips and tricks. Keep it up, my guy. Well, hey, right back at you guys. You know, every week we're going to be talking about all the ratings and reviews that come on in. Guys, it really helps a lot with getting the podcast surfaced and just some social proofing. And frankly, a little bit of feedback here, because I love hearing that this stuff helps you guys out. So if you guys have not left a review, literally, depending on your device, iTunes especially is where you can leave reviews. Go swipe all the way down to the bottom. You'll see where it says 5-star, and then just leave a couple sentences. I know it takes 2 seconds to do, but we really appreciate it. It goes a long way.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
Awesome. All right, so let's keep it going here, talking about marketing and legal. So with marketing, you just got this business started, and this was a really good conversation. This was about half an hour conversation I had on a coaching call with this gentleman just 2 days ago. And he said, well, how do I want to be known as the business in town that looks like we've been around for 10 years, even though I've been around for 10 days. I said, I feel you, brother, like that. Your marketing is going to be your equalizer, right? Because when somebody gets a beautiful postcard, they don't know if it's that company that's been around for 10 years or the company that's been around for 10 weeks. And how do you present that image to that customer? Well, marketing is going to be your equalizer on how to do that. So well, again, we're talking about if you had the premise of $5,000, $2,000 or $3,000 goes to equipment, $1,000 goes to marketing, and $1,000 is going to go to legal. So let's talk about where do you spend $1,000 on marketing? Well, you know, it's a business, and you have to invest to get anything out. You have to invest to get the word out. So number one, with marketing, let's talk about what marketing is. You're trying to get the name out for your new business. And here's the tip. You might be able to put a Facebook post up and, you know, sign up your mom, sign up your aunt, sign up your cousin, sign up your, you know, coworker that's working second shift that from the job you just flushed. You know, that's cool. But if my business success was going to be predicated on the amount of people in my family that signed up with my lawn and landscape business, Brian's Lawn Maintenance would cease to exist in the infancy of its creation. I probably wouldn't have made it past the first 2 or 3 weeks, because I think I signed up one aunt, and then I also signed up one cousin. Okay. And I also cut my mom's lawn, but she wasn't exactly paying the bill, if you know what I'm saying. You got to take care of mom. And we've been taking care of mom since day one. In fact, I practiced on my mom's property. So shout out to mom. She needs to get free service for the rest of her life. Right. But again, just have a little fun here, but you have to get the word out. We need customers. So let's talk about where you can spend money going to a local print shop. Every single town, city, somewhere within a half hour to an hour of you has a local print shop. And what do you want to spend there? You want to spend money letting these people know you have this brand new business, and you might have a logo, you might not have a logo, you might have a sketch, you might have a name, you might just try to be putting this all together, but go into the actual print shop and say, hey, look, I'm a new business owner. I want you to handle all of my marketing from A to Z. You guys are my people. I'm willing to invest. I have some money. I want a good job. I want some cohesiveness. I want everything to look great, professional. Can you guys help me out? And they're going to say, more than likely, yes. And what does that mean? So you need postcards, you need flyers, you need 4 or 5 shirts, maybe 2 of additional shirts that are polos. You need yard signs, you need logos, you need color schemes, you need everything. And that's what a local print shop is going to do. Now, can you go to Fiverr.com and make a logo for $35 to $75? Sure. but it may or may not be cohesive with the rest of your marketing efforts. You might be trying to take this like PNG or .ai or IA, whatever file, and your vector file and try to upload it here and upload it there, and it's just not working out. Don't be cheap. If you're 15 years old and you're just getting your business started and you can make something with Fiverr, or, you're adept at Photoshop or, some of the Adobe suite, dude, rock and roll. I'm all about that. But what I would say is, as a business, there's times to save money and there's times to spend money. And you're not going to save your way to a growing business. You just will not. You're going to have to invest, and you're going to have to enlist the help of professionals to do things that you're not good at. Okay, so you're not going to be good at legal. You're not going to be good at, doing your books. You're not going to be good at a bunch of things, and that's okay, because 6 months from now you'll be better. 12 months from then you'll be better. 10 years from now you'll be a pro. But there's certain things that you can't do, you shouldn't be doing, you don't know how to do, because you don't spend 500 or 1,000 hours learning or doing, right? That's not your profession. So marketing and branding, in the beginning, you might have some ideas and some concepts of where you're trying to go, but you need to enlist the help of somebody else. And budgeting for $500 to $1,000, you can get a whole media suite, a product suite, a marketing suite put together, everything from head to toe. And by having a professional help you design that, you're going to be able to use your marketing as the equalizer for your new business. And the idea here, as we're just starting, is to literally make a mess with action and activity. Passing out postcards, passing out yard signs, going door to door if you want. Your goal in the beginning is to just take action and start growing this thing, right? All this stuff. You're looking at your equipment. One day you're mowing lawns. You get done by 1 o'clock because you only have 6 customers that day because you're brand new. At 1:30, you need to be going to your local small town dealer. Google it. Whether it's Toro, Exmark, Wright, Skag, I don't care. Right? You need to start building a relationship with them and start learning more about equipment. You get done on Tuesday because you have 3 customers, right? No big deal. Once you're done at, 11 o'clock in the morning, your day is not over. Your new business, you need to hustle. What do? You go to the marketing shop, and over the next 6 to 8 weeks, while they're building this whole product suite for you for your new marketing and your new business, you still need to be cutting lawns and figuring it out. So the idea is to evolve. The idea is to continuously get better. You guys see all my stuff on YouTube. My banner is constantly tweaking. My little sliders that say like, comment, subscribe, those are constantly upgrading and tweaking. My intro is constantly changing. Everything is constantly, or should be, or the best, are constantly trying to improve and get better. But you cannot have the wait for 5 green lights on the street syndrome where you're waiting for all lights to be green. Well, I'll start this business when I have my best trailer, my best equipment, and you can take photos and put it on Instagram and think that's what entrepreneurship is. No. You need to start hustling. Now, again, if you're just getting started, you might be trying to make a career change and you want to get it the most right. I'm all about that. But you also have to take enough info in and then make a decision. Make a decision and then make it right. What you do in the beginning, it's not going to go perfect. And you have to be okay with that. You're going to pass out postcards and you're not going to know that you shouldn't have put it inside the mailbox. And you're going to get a slap on the wrist from your postmaster saying, if you do it again, we're going to fine you. Okay, you didn't know, now you know. And I'm not saying be ignorant, but I'm just saying you're going to go pass out flyers and somebody's going to say, oh my God, why are you passing out a flyer? COVID, why aren't you wearing a mask? And you're going to go, okay, that was really awkward. You're going to get back in the truck, kind of deflated, and you're going to probably feel like a moron. But that's okay. You're learning. So next time you don't do that. You're going to be cutting grass with a 21-inch and you're going to go, man, there's got to be a better way. I'm sweating my butt off here doing this thing. Yeah, there is. It's called getting a 36 or a 48, whether it's a stand down or a sit down. You're going to learn and you're going to keep getting better. You're going to have a little GMT 225 trimmer, the little curve shaft one from Home Depot, the one that spins backwards. And you're going to go, man, this thing is, not very fast. It's okay to start with, but I need something with some power. And then you're going to go to your local equipment dealer and you're going to get an FS 111, a 2620 or a 260 TS. And you're going to go, man, what was I doing this whole time? See, you're getting better. This is off the premise that you're just getting started. You're not going to know everything. You got to be comfortable with looking like a dork, looking like a moron. Lord knows that I still do. So I'm just having some fun, but that's just keeping it real. All right. So marketing. Marketing is your equalizer. If you had $5,000, $1,000 needs to go into that category. And you know what? Enlist the help of a professional. A professional is not your wife. A professional isn't necessarily, your cousin. Okay, I'm talking about somebody who has a background in graphics design that can do a really good job. All right, last thing we're going to talk about, and that is the legal section in CRM, because this will help you navigate from the very beginning, doing everything right. So we're going to hear one more time from Steel, and then we're going to get right back into it.
Battery power made by Steel. From trimmers and mowers to chainsaws and blowers, Steel battery tools are exactly what you need to tackle your to-do list. Whether you need to maintain your yard or completely transform your landscape. Battery power made by Steel. Steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot, always at a local Steel dealer. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Awesome, man. Always great having Steel sponsor the show. And again, a lot of their battery equipment, it's bee's knees right now, man. And in fact, there's so much stuff coming down the pike, I can't even tell you. But if you guys are in the market for a new trimmer, blower, edger, check those guys out. Battery power or gas, it's up to you. Frankly, I love the 111 we've been using. If you're following on YouTube, it's a tank. And then also one of my go-tos, the KM131R combi system. I think that is a staple piece in any lawn care or landscaper guy's arsenal. So make sure you check those out. All right, as we continue on here, let's talk about legal and the CRM. So we have another $1,000 left in our bucket of $5,000 now. Again, this is a 1,000 or two that's going to go into the trailer and the hand tools. 1,000 in the marketing, 1,000 in the legal, and I put 0% down on a new mower if I was getting started again today. What is the 1,000 in legal going to be talking about? Well, let's talk about two different parts. Number one is the CRM. Now, a lot of you guys know that we use Yardbook. Yardbook is essentially free. There's a premium version that has a couple different integrations to it. There's still, of course, a processing fee for Stripe or credit cards, all that mess. I'm not going to talk about charge cards on file. We have 100 videos on YouTube about how to do that. Instead of invoicing, and we still invoice, but we do a charge card on file at the end of the month. We cash out for any work that we do because I'm not a debt collector. I'm a landscape professional and I'm a launchpreneur, not a debt collector-preneur, whatever that means. So let's keep it going. And then also there's other CRMs like Jobber or LMNOP, just having fun, Element, SAP. There's so many other ones out there too that I don't even know. I haven't even heard about. But the idea is, and Nick Carlson from Mulchmate said it great on my episode of the podcast and also on Paul Jameson's. You're collecting data. So you need to be able to store that data in a professional manner that's easy to use, easy to access. And that's what Jobber, Yardbook, all these guys are. So Yardbook, when I get a new customer, hey, no problem, we can take care of your grass. It's going to be $35 a week. We cut, trim, mow, blow. We're going to be edging bi-weekly. We're here on Wednesdays. Do you feel like you have enough information to sign up and get started? Yep. Okay, great. Well, here's what I'm asking you to do. Send me a text message with your name, your number, your full name, your address, and your email. When I get home, I'll plug into my system. I'll send you a credit card on file link. Once you're done with that, I don't see the info. I don't get access to the info. That's just to store a card on file. We bill end of month, and then we charge card on file the last day of the month plus a day. So if your cuts are Wednesday, we'll bill and then invoice and charge on the last day of the month, Thursday. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. We're good to go. We don't, there's no other conversation about billing ever for my business, okay? It's super easy to do. That's what a CRM can do. Now, a lot of the other ones can offer the same thing. Maybe you're an invoice person. Maybe you also use a QuickBooks. That's what we use to manage all the finances and the taxes and the reports and all this other mess. And my bookkeeper, that's all a whole nother conversation. But from the beginning, I wouldn't say get a bookkeeper, but shortly after, get a bookkeeper. They'll really help you out. But you have to start with a CRM. I wouldn't start with just a legal pad or like an Excel spreadsheet. I wouldn't use Post-it notes like, hey, I do Mary on Tuesday, which, by the way, this also relates to the question, why don't we do bi-weekly? Now, I have a whole nother video talking about the bi-weekly question on YouTube. And it's a great topic and a great conversation. Down in Florida, some of you guys do bi-weekly, and that's great. That's okay, based on the grass types and the seasonal growing conditions. In the Midwest, where the grass can grow 4 inches and 5 inches a week, no, there's no such thing as bi-weekly. And frankly, if you have nicer lawns and subdivisions and people who irrigate and fertilize, there's no such thing as bi-weekly for my business. Why? Because I want regular income, because I have regular bills, and I want to make regular investments and to take care of my wife regularly with income. So I need regular income. And if customers were, well, do this every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or once a month, you guys can do that all day long. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing a 5-acre field for $275 that you do once a month on a Saturday morning. That's all extra credit. But I'm talking about your regular core business, your regular core income. So again, we don't let customers dictate to us bi-weekly, because then bi-weekly turns into thrice weekly or 3 times once every 3 weeks. And it just turns into a nightmare and a mess, and you can't stay organized. So for us, and not everybody can do this, I get it. If you're rural, lawns burn out in June, July, that's, totally understandable. I'm saying for regular subdivision lawns, everybody's got nice subdivisions. Hey, there's a little quick pro tip. Maybe get into the subdivisions where there's some nicer work, and let all the other scrapper guys out there that want to do all these, gangly properties, go let them, mess around with that work, and have, Mary texting him, hey, don't cut my lawn this week. Well, it's been 3 weeks. The only thing poking up is the weeds. And you're like, well, I have no revenue coming in. And it's like our income drops 40 or 60% month to month from June and July and August. And that's awful. I used to do that. In fact, little case study right now. It's been 93 degrees for a week and a half. It's 93 degrees this week. It's going to be 93 degrees next week. I mean, every day, no relief, no rain, pure sun every day. Now, back in the day, I had my trailer park lawns, and I would cut 42 trailer park lawns in about 2.5 hours. I mean, we would just ride the mower and the trim around the mower. My guy would be with me. Boom, 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 boom. We would knock those out. $15, $15. And we would make, dude, $150, $175 an hour. No problem. But what happens? Well, June 1st, or even July 1st, they all toast out. They all burn out because nobody irrigates in a trailer park lawn, right? So I went from making $200 an hour, literally with a guy, to making $0 per hour. And hey, honey, we only need to cut maybe one time this month. So again, I learned my that not all customers are created equal, right? So again, when you're just getting your business started, you might grow up in a certain subdivision where maybe it's in the $200,000 homes. And, you might even know from personal experience, yeah, we don't really cut the lawn much in June and July and August. And you know what? That might be your business model. You might be okay with that. But for me, I wasn't. I want 16 to 20 grand a month, 16 to 20 grand a month, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. I want 20 months out of 6 months out of the year, 20 month in just lawn maintenance revenue. That's kind of what we do. And that's outside of landscaping for tons of other services, right? So maybe go down the road, find the nicer subdivisions, and start figuring out how to use your new marketing materials and how to get into those subs, right? And again, the how to get new customers program. Maybe you can't get into the sub. Hey, you can use My Google Business Listing. You can do Facebook. You can maximize SEO. We teach you how to do all that in a training program for $49. And I guarantee you, I don't think I can make guarantees, but I guarantee you're probably going to get some new customers by learning how to set up all those different websites and services, and it'll pay big dividends for the rest of your business career. So, all right, so that is your CRM. If you're just starting out, take time to learn how to use a CRM. I don't care, frankly, which one you guys use. I use Yardbook. I love it. It's great. Full disclosure, they're a sponsor on the YouTube channel, but I've said publicly 100 times that even if they didn't pay us, it's still perfect for my business model. But again, from day one, start collecting those emails, because if you don't, you're collecting that data. Because if you don't, you're going to be like, oh, that's John Smith. He texts me. And then how do you, when they don't need the lawn cut, or they've got a birthday party happening, but you don't have any way to contact them because you communicate via email, or, so you want to make sure you have all names, all addresses, all phone numbers, all emails. That is the bread and butter of your business, is being able to communicate with those customers. So make sure you always are collecting all of that. When I came from an Excel, kind of a system, numbers on my computer, then I went to Square. Man, it took me like 4 months. We sent out a little customer form. We had to get all this data. It took forever because I had like 2 out of 4 pieces of information for everybody. Some people had names and numbers. Some people had names and emails. Some people had names and emails and no address. My wife's like, well, how do you even know where they're at? I'm like, well, it's in my house. It's all in my head. Well, go say that to a business owner who knows what they're doing. Yeah, all my customer data is in my head. That's just not very professional. It's not going to do you very well. All right, so CRM with this last $1,000 category, it's not really going to cost you that much. Although signing up for Jobber might be $300 or something like that. LMN, if you're building a multi-million-dollar company, might be like $300 a month. Yardbook, maybe let's say the premium is $39 or $49 a month. It sounds like a lot, but once you get your business going, it's pennies, and it'll be the best money you ever spend because you're organized. So let's talk about last one is the legal and the CRM. I did another podcast episode. I'll try to look it up here as I talk to you guys about this one. But we did an episode with Garrett Sutton, which was incredible, about how to create an LLC. And then we also did one about taxes and tax prep with a CPA named Tom Wheelwright, who is the personal CPA to Robert Kiyosaki. So if you guys haven't listened to those episodes, I think they're like episode, 24 or 27, somewhere in between all there. Those guys break both of them down, why you need a bookkeeper and why you also need to form an LLC with your lawn and landscape business or any business. And one is tax advantages. The other one is going to be just legal and asset protection, right? So let's see, we got number 24, Protecting Your Assets with Garrett Sutton. Amazing podcast, amazing dude. And then number 28, we have the CARES Act and what it means for you with Tom Wheelwright, CPA. But we also talked about creating an LLC. So by the way, if you call Garrett Sutton's office and you mention Brian's Lawn Maintenance or Fullerton Unfiltered, they'll save you $100 off creating an LLC. Now, can you get your business started with a DBA? Yes, it's $15, $25, $50, $100 in your city, state, province, country, whatever. But you want to move into an LLC. Now, an LLC, again, we go into both on the podcast and have a consultation with those guys. They'll explain more, but this is going to help you in a legal asset protection. That's what that means. So you want to have as much asset protection. So if you do put a rock through a window, if you do put a rock through a person, you're not going to go to jail or lose everything, okay? You got to treat this serious. You are a business owner. Now, creating an LLC is going to be anywhere from $550 to $750. I would encourage you highly to not use a expedited service like a LegalZoom or these services online. For $199, get your LLC, because they don't show you the full picture. You might start for $199 for the LLC formation, but then you need minutes. Then you need your articles of organization. Then you need a registered agent. There's so many different things. I don't even know what all this is. I just pay the fees and they handle it for me. But there's a lot more than just the $199. File your LLC paperwork with your business and say you're an LLC. Elected as an S corp. Okay, there's a lot of other legal things that need to go on behind the scenes, and all these services eventually, if you add them all up a la carte, they equal $600-700. So use Garrett Sutton's firm, corporate direct, amazing people. They should be able to create an LLC and help you out with your company anywhere in the continental U.S. But that's where I'd put $1,000 right off the bat. And by the way, also take some time to enlist the help of a CPA, a small town CPA, or a good CPA. Okay, don't just go to a corner retail store like an H&R Block, although you could, but hire somebody out. Or here's a better conversation to have. Call up a CPA firm, tell them you're a new business owner, tell them that you're looking to hire a firm that can grow with you. And this is the kind of stuff that you got to do now as you're just getting started. Even if you're just getting started, enlist the help of a professional. And you know what? You're like, I don't have money for this. You don't have money for this, but you also don't have money to not use their help and their guidance. And in fact, the old rule of thumb is the more that, not the more that you pay, but if you spend $1,000 on somebody, they should be able to save you 2, 5, 10x what you're spending on them. So the idea with professionals is that they'll save you time and money. And so the $1,000 that you invest, it'll save you multiples over. So again, we're just getting this lawn and landscape business started. We're deciding on what's our customers, what's our days, what kind of business do we want to do? Do we want to do lawn maintenance? Do we want to do landscaping? If we want to do landscaping, you need to start doing all your research and watching YouTube videos all day, all night. Invest in Caleb Waldman's hardscaping course, those kind of things, and learn as much as you can about hardscaping. You want to do lawn maintenance? I got 650 videos. We'll teach you everything we know about it, and I got 1,000 more that are going to be coming. Okay, we got the podcast. We got LawnpreneurAcademy.com. The whole ball of wax. It's $500. It's literally the most nominally priced bundle. You think $500 is a lot of money? Go to college. Okay, you're going to spend $1,500 to learn about humanities. Okay, good luck. Okay, let me know how that pays dividends for you. Go to get the whole ball of wax. It's $500. Use promo code podcast to save 10%. And I think it's $450 then. And I will tell you, you will learn what took me a decade in 10 weeks. And then, frankly, you can get through it in 10 days if you want to pay attention and get a pen and paper out and actually do your work and get to work running a new business. This is for the serious people. Like we're not messing around here. Like if you want to make money, cool. If you want to be entertained, that's fine too. We'll do both. But all right, so your equipment, you got $5,000, put $2,500 to $3,000 towards equipment. Your trailer is incredibly important. Like for example, you see people buy a $80,000 boat and they spend $1,100 on the trailer. In fact, like boat trailers notoriously are junk. Like they're usually junk until you get into the very high end boats, because they understand that the trailer is, if not more important than the friggin' boat, because your boat's useless if it can't trailer to where you're trying to take it. So don't cheap out on your trailer. You're like, oh, I dropped $9,000 on a mower, but you have a $500 trailer. Like I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I mean, it's pennies on the dollar if you think about it. So go spend $1,500 to $2,000, get a nice 7x16 utility trailer. Whether you want high sides or low sides, it's up to you. Get a 2-inch tube top all the way around, some nice angle iron, just a good quality trailer, good quality rims, good quality tires, and people can point you in the right direction with that. Hand tools, get a good trimmer, a good blower. You don't necessarily need an edger right out of the gate, although you could. And then eventually, as you continue to grow, invest into a combi into year 2, 3, or 4. All right, so that's $2,000-3,000, another grand into your marketing. Don't be cheap on marketing. Marketing is one of those things, and you guys have heard me say it. And if you guys were at our live event with Josh Latimer when he talked, marketing and advertising is a machine. It's like a slot machine. So you put a quarter in the top and $1 is going to come out the bottom, or you put a quarter in on top and $25 is going to come out on the bottom. Here's the question. How much money do you want to put in the top of that machine? Marketing, 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 advertising, advertising, advertising. Your business isn't growing. I want to see your marketing budget. I bet it's not where it needs to be. How much do you spend on marketing? I don't know. I don't care. For me, it's whatever it needs to be to get my business to grow. If you want to quantify it, well, I put 7% of all gross revenue back into my business. That's fine too. I don't care. The bottom line is get the phone to ring. And you know what? If it costs $100 to get one customer, or it costs $10 to get one customer, the bottom line is that it doesn't overly matter, because you're going to get $500, $5,000, $50,000 in return on that customer. Okay. Now, if you want to get all surgical and tactical and sniper rifle, one shot, one kill, and you know it works, that's where I'm at. I could pull a lever and I can get new customers. Like, that took a decade to learn how to do. In the beginning, throw mud up against the wall, see what sticks. Then you're going to transition to the machine gun, and you're going to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more of a mess. And then, you continue to evolve is the theme to this whole conversation. You're going to continue to evolve and learn what works. Hey, postcards aren't very effective in my area. No big deal. But you get a lot of business with yard signs. Hey, yard signs don't really work in my area, but you know what? You get a lot from Facebook ads. Hey, no problem. Dial it in. That's what we're trying to do. So in the beginning, build those routes. You got to figure out where you want to service, where you don't want to service. Okay. And next up, marketing. We just talked about that. And then your CRM. Start from the beginning, being organized. Well, I don't know how to use a CRM. Hey, no big deal. Both Jobber, LMN, Yardbook, which would be called all of them, because both is 2. So anyway, all of them, they have tutorial videos. Yardbook has like 30 or 40 tutorial videos. And I didn't know how to use Yardbook either. I asked, I did a couple poll audiences on Instagram, a couple poll audience on YouTube, talked to a friend of mine, Florida Turf Pros, Jonathan, great dude. And I said, hey, what's working out there? And he said, dude, based on what you're doing, I'm doing the same thing. Like, this is what I'm using. I'm like, cool, I'm in. I went to Yardbook. I looked at the login screen. I went, oh man, my head just started to hurt. I don't want to learn something new. Oh, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn. I'm so sick and tired of learning things. I'm just being real. I don't know if you guys ever feel the same way. I got to learn something new. Come on, man. I thought I was supposed to just walk into making $100,000 a year. Nope. I had to learn. So what did I do? I sat my butt down. I got a family-sized box of Goldfish, because those are the best. I got myself a Mountain Dew, which is the official construction worker drink of choice. Probably also for landscape pros. Mountain Dew should sponsor the podcast, just thinking out loud. And what did I do? I had my 20-ounce Mountain Dew, my family size of Goldfish, because, paleo. And what did I do? I watched 50 freaking videos on Yardbook on how to make it work. And now everybody DMs me, Brian, what do we do about Yardbook? Hey, Brian, how do you do this with Yardbook? Brian, how about this with Yardbook? I don't know. Don't ask me. Go ask John Pajak, because he's really, really good with this stuff. But I just did the same thing I'm telling you guys to do. I watched every stupid video. Did I want to watch videos? Did I want to sit inside for an hour? No. Do you know what I make per hour doing a podcast, or, running my YouTube channel, or running my lawn business? I make $125 an hour gross with my lawn business. I don't want to sit around. This costs me $125. So don't give me the same excuses that you don't have time. It's just a priority issue. Next time somebody says I don't have time, just say I don't have a priority. At least you can be honest, because don't say that to a winner or somebody who knows what's going on, because we're going to see right through that junk. Okay. So you don't want to learn. Well, then don't be in business. If you don't want to think for yourself, go get a job. Somebody will tell you what to do all freaking day, and they'll pay you just under what you're worth. So not what you're worth. They'll pay you just under what you're worth. They're not going to pay you enough for what you're worth. They're going to pay you just enough so you don't leave. right? So if you're making $42,000 a year, they're not paying you $42,000 a year because they think you're worth $42,000. They're just going to pay you $42,000 because they can't afford to pay you $44, and they know that if they don't pay you $40, you won't stick around, right? And by the way, the job that you have, 5 other people turned down. That's why you have it. So if you want to be self-employed, you have to start thinking. You have to start working. You have to start hustling. It sucks. But the bottom line is that you get the reward. You get the profit. Now, it doesn't suck, but you know what I'm saying? It takes hard work. It doesn't just come to you. So this is that employee versus business owner mindset that everybody talks about. As an employee, when do I pass out flyers? How many exact flyers do I pass out to get the phone to ring? That's what employees do. It's called minimum mentality. An entrepreneur, business owner says, dude, I'm going to pass out as many flyers as I need to get this phone to ring. Wait a minute, I can pass out 100 flyers today, or I can pass out 1,000 flyers. I'm in control of my destiny. There's nobody throttling me. I get to do whatever I want. Dude, I'm all in. See, it's just so weird to me out there. Like I heard a guy say once that humans are the only species out there that consistently underperform. And I'm like, well, that's different. Yeah, like if you look at a tree will always grow to its maximum height and ability. A bull will always reproduce as much as it can to its maximum ability. But a human being, no way, man, it's hot out. No way, man, it's cold out. No way, dude, it's a lake day. No way, dude, it's a holiday. No way, dude, I deserve a day off. Right? Minimums. And it's like, it just gets me fired up because while everybody wants to play minimums, your boy here is playing a whole different game. It's called maximums. And I wonder why there's such a disparity between the haves and the have-nots, the successful and the unsuccessful 5-10 years later. And what does it always break down to? Discipline, consistency, hard work, vision. Man, I'm getting fired up doing this podcast. It's just me in the studio. This is what happens when I, get 8 hours of sleep. So anyway, what do you do when you start your lawn care landscaping business? You make a mess. You take action. You kick butt. You refine along the way. Okay. These are a couple different buckets that I'd put a couple bucks in to invest. And I think they'll really, really help you guys out. When you're just getting started, get the whole ball of wax bundle. When you're just getting started, get the $99 How to Start My Lawn Care Business program. But what do you do after? You do what I just said on this podcast. If you want to continue to expand your business, expand services, check out the other training programs. It's not a pitch for the training programs. I couldn't care less if you buy them. But they're designed to literally shave off so much time. I didn't know any of this stuff when I was just getting started. And now I get DMs all the time. Man, dude, I just did the aeration overseed training program. I just locked down 6 aerations and 3 overseedings. I'm going to do $900 this day. Thanks for your $49 training program. I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't I charge $299 for this? I'm just having fun because I couldn't afford that way back when. And that's why everything is so nominally priced. So guys, man, I'm coming at you fast. Hopefully I didn't ruffle any feathers here. If I did, God bless. No big deal. We'll catch you on the next podcast. I'm sure it'll be more light and more fun and more airy, okay? But I just get charged up. I see so many of you guys out there kicking butt, taking names, making it happen for yourself. You're designing your own future. You're designing your destiny. You're taking control of your life. You're grabbing life by the horns. And it's just so incredible to see what you guys are doing. So, hey, if you like this podcast, do me a big solid. Share it on Instagram. Tag me. I'd love to repost it. Share it with a lawn bro if this stuff is helping you guys out. Guys, go down the rabbit hole. Listen to all the friggin' podcasts. If you don't think you're going to like it because of the title or the person, listen to them all. Even if you don't like it, listen to them all because you're going to get a nugget out of every single one. I mean, the Garrett Sutton one, the Tom Wheelwright episode, some of my best ones. You want to learn some good business mindset? Go listen to Bedell's episodes. We talked for 2.5 hours on each one, okay? Just amazing, amazing stuff. And I'm listening to all of you guys and I'm hearing the feedback. It's working. And that's why we're going to keep doing. I'm a doer. So anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you big time. We're over and out. Catch up with you guys. See ya.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.